Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere attempts to tell the story of the legendary rocker, but it actually exposes a fundamental flaw in the modern biopic trend. Chronicling the production of Springsteen's stripped-down classic, Nebraska, the movie analyzes the singer-songwriter at a crossroads in his career. The biopic has earned middling reviews and an abysmal box office. Its failure can be chalked up to a lackluster box office in general, but it also speaks to a larger problem with biopics. Deliver Me From Nowhere is just the latest in a string of movies about musicians, but it hasn't recreated the success of its predecessors. However, the Springsteen movie commits the same sins as its contemporaries. Deliver Me From Nowhere doesn't have much to say. The Bruce Springsteen biopic features the same fundamental flaw that most music films include, which is a lack of point of view. While biopics are true stories that come to life on the screen, they must still be the result of a vision. Deliver Me From Nowhere has little to say about its subject, which is a waste of potential. Bombastic music movies like Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocketman suffer from the same problem, but are able to cover their flaws with exaggerated style and huge production numbers. The raw and emotional story of Deliver Me From Nowhere gives the movie nothing to hide behind. However, it's so flat and uninteresting that it gives no real insight into the subject. If the movie was fictional, Deliver Me From Nowhere would be a boring and pointless exercise in wheel spinning that would likely have gotten even worse reviews. The added intrigue of it being about Bruce Springsteen is hardly enough to hide the fact that it offers nothing in terms of cinematic vision. The narrative of cinema is totally abandoned. Bruce Springsteen's excellent autobiography, Born to Run, is hundreds of pages of stories, musings, and history from the man himself, but Deliver Me From Nowhere is eternally locked in an outsider's perspective. Unlike the aforementioned music biopics, the Springsteen film could have massaged deeper meaning out of the production of the musician's most personal album. Even the flashback sequences to his youth feel vague and lack specificity, almost as if they could have been from anyone's life. This is in direct contrast to the stories Springsteen tells in his book, which are heart-wrenching and meaningful, and clearly shaped who he became as an adult. Not every musician needs a biopic. Hollywood firmly believes that the lives of successful musicians are immediately interesting and deserve to be films. This is simply not true, and has been shown in a succession of dull movies with nothing to say about their subjects. Bruce Springsteen's life is not nearly as interesting as the music he makes, and it certainly doesn't have a natural narrative. Biopics like Ed Wood and Lincoln have narrow focus and cull deeper meaning out of real-life details. Most modern music biopics struggle with this and consistently pick subjects with a lot of name value, but little else to offer in terms of story. Bruce Springsteen is theoretically enough to sell tickets, but even that didn't work.